Hi, my name is Brenda Sprascio.
Hi, my name is Austin Thomas.
Hi, my name is Kirsten Orschel.
Hi everybody, I'm Taylor Lunger, and today we will be presenting our ethics case on Tommy O'Connell. Before we ask you to answer the question that we posed at the end of this case, we wanted to give you a little bit of background about this case. So Tommy O'Connell was recently promoted to Audit Senior, and he was assigned to the engagement of Altamsa Manufacturing Company, where he will be on this engagement for 3 months and out of town for 3 months because the client is about 5 hours away from the office. Before you make your decision at the end, you should be aware that Tommy's wife already tells him that he works so many hours and he's away from home too much. So that may sway your decision at the end of this presentation when we ask you the ethical dilemma question. So before Tommy goes on to this engagement, prior senior managers who have been on this case have told him that the client tends to front load profits based on the percentage of completion method, and the accounting manager for Altamsa tends to cause disputes. He's older and he doesn't really think that the young auditors know very much, so he tends to explain things in a confusing way, and Tommy spends most of his time trying to figure out the methods that the client is using. Also, before the engagement starts, the partner of the firm tells Tommy that Carl is going to be the staff accountant assigned to the job, and at first Tommy is very hesitant about this because Carl seems to have a record of completing tasks too quickly and way under budgeted time. So continuing on with the background, Carl on a previous assignment completed work in 60 hours where the budgeted time was 100 hours, and the prior year took the staff accountant 110 hours to complete. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how fast and quickly Carl is working. So this leads to doubts among Tommy and other seniors that Carl actually is not completing all the assigned tasks. So some tasks assigned to Carl have been large-scale tests for transactions such as receiving reports, checking invoices and purchase orders, and then also looking at other documents for various attributes. So given the nature of these tests, the seniors would have a difficult time confirming their suspicions that Carl is not doing his work because it would just give them more work to do. Also, continuing with this background, a little bit more on Tommy. So Tommy has a goal to be promoted manager within 5 years of being with the company, and he's already at senior manager right now. So that's just a personal goal that he has. Tommy and Carl have very little in common. So when Tommy finds out that Carl is going to be on this engagement with him, he is a little hesitant because of the indifferences they have. You know, Carl went to a private school where Tommy went to a big school, and Tommy thinks that Carl comes off as very cocky, and they just don't have similar interests, so Tommy already has suspicions based on that. And then Tommy questions Carl's lack of experience to himself when he is told that Carl is going to be on this engagement with him. He never says anything to the partner before the engagement starts. He never tells the partner that him and other seniors have concerns that Carl is not doing the work that he should be doing, or he may not even be completing the work at all since he is so under budget.
Next, I will be discussing the on-the-field facts. 6 weeks into the full swing audit, Carl completed his third task in record time and even asked to leave early to go to the golf course. Tommy did not have time to review Carl's cash disbursement work papers because he was trying to understand Altamsa's complex method of allocating overhead costs to work in process jobs. Tommy was stressed and had his hands full with the chief accountant regarding large job statuses who he previously had butted heads with and would confuse rather than clarify when asked questions. Tommy spent hours of non-chargeable time going through job order worksheets and long-term contracts in his motel room. Using prior year work papers, firm policy and procedure manuals, and old accounting textbooks, versus Carl, who spent his evenings at the club. Tommy and Carl both worked 50 to 60 hours per week on Alta Mesa's engagement. Tommy worried about his marriage and even questioned if becoming a partner was the route for him. By late August, the audit was almost complete, and it all looked good according to Jack Morrison, who was Alta Mesa's audit partner and office managing partner at the firm. He was satisfied with Carl's work and even sent him home 2 days early.
This leads us to the options that Tommy has to pick from. The options stem from Tommy's concern that Carl did not complete all the work that he signed off on since he finished it much faster than prior years. This is exemplified by the fact that he finished so quickly. It is possible that the work he has completed quickly just has less work to complete in the current year. There's no direct evidence that Carl has been cutting corners. The first option that Tommy can follow would be to tell the partner his concerns regarding Carl's performance. In this option, Tommy is being professionally responsible, voicing his concerns. He is bringing up the concerns to his partner, but this shows he was unable to complete the work himself. This causes more work for everyone involved in the situation, and there is a possibility that all the work could be correct anyways, which would make an investigation costly and pointless. It would also indicate that Tommy does not trust his workers, and he did not review their work properly throughout the audit. The second option would be Tommy doesn't tell the partner about his concerns. This would hide the fact that Tommy does not review the work appropriately. There is also a solid chance that Carl's work is correct. The only indication that the work is incorrect is that it was completed quickly. It could easily have been correct and just completed fast. Not telling the partner would also end this engagement and allow Tommy to get home to his wife. It would also fulfill his goal of being promoted to manager in 5 years. Completing an engagement of this magnitude without any serious issues would basically guarantee him the promotion. The first option is to question Carl. The pros of this side of the argument are that this makes Tommy appear to be professionally responsible. He saw something wrong with the audit, which raised his suspicions, and he got those suspicions figured out with a formal investigation. The cons are if he is caught not reviewing his employees' work, then he will not receive the promotion. But if he comes in under budget, he will definitely get the promotion. This option is also more difficult. They would have to call in Carl and manually review all of the work he did, which is not easy to do since the work was based around large-scale transactions, including the receiving reports, purchase orders, and other documents. This would lead to lots of extra work, while Carl could have been doing all the work correctly in the first place. This would also likely lead to trouble for Tommy, for not reviewing Carl's work, and only raising his suspicions to the partner when he brought the audit to be finalized, and he didn't bring up his suspicions throughout the entire audit process. The second option is to believe Carl and the work he has completed. The pros of this argument are that the work will be completed. No messy, lingering investigations or inquiry. The work is just done. They don't have to re-perform or redo any of it. There won't be a confrontation with Carl. They don't have to pull him in for an interview or do an investigation on him. There would be no extra costs for the engagement. If they have to do an investigation, that takes time and resources, which equals money lost for the firm. Going with this option would be good for Tommy's chances of receiving a promotion to manager within 5 years. Completing this audit with no significant sidesteps would be seen as a positive. This is also the easier option. No investigation or loss of time. The partner just has to sign the papers and they're done. And Tommy won't get in trouble for not reviewing Carl's work and bringing this up as the partner is about to sign the paperwork. The cons of this option are that it is riskier. There is a chance that Carl completed the work so quickly that he did not do it all properly. This means there's also a chance that the work was completed correctly, and Carl just got it done ahead of schedule. This just means that the risk is present, and Tommy could be having his partner sign off on uncompleted work, but it also could be completed work. They could be missing something material in the audit. There's always a risk of this happening, but with Carl finishing work way under budgeted time, this risk seems to be elevated. Before you decide which option is the right option, here are some ethical model reminders.
While both personal and business ethics may be defined in many different ways, the goal is always aimed at doing the right thing with roots in emphasizing truth, justice, and fairness. Business ethics include the consideration of how your decisions might impact your colleagues, your client, and the public at large. Those in leadership positions have the additional responsibilities of setting clear expectations, leading by example, and promoting a culture where employees feel comfortable by asking clarifying questions and raising concerns. Ethics is a component of every action or choice made in the workplace. Thus, all business decisions are in fact ethical decisions. In this case, act to optimize utility of society, acting for the greater good. We must also realize we have basic human rights granted by the United States outlined within our Constitution. And these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which has been changed to the pursuit of property. The decisions that you're making infringe on these inalienable rights. The question we must consider today: with everything at stake, should Tommy believe Carl is completing all his work under the budgeted time, or should Tommy tell the partner that he is indeed questioning Carl's work capabilities?
If you have any questions regarding this case before you decide on the ethical question, please contact any of us at the below email addresses, and we will gladly answer all questions.